And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Kyle here, and it is Sunday. You know what that means. It's time for weekly purchases. That time of the week where we investigate what came through the door via DHL, Amazon, UPS, United States Postal Service, FedEx, and of course, that KG Outlaw, the old KG Outlaw, Waylon Jennings. It is the weekly purchases, another big week in the back half, but a lot to discuss in the front half as a very, very busy week for me this week. I was yeeting all over the place. Going to tell about that a little bit here. A little day job talk. How about that? Plus some other things and giveaways. Let's dive into it. Let's start it off. But of course, first, got to thank the sponsor of weekly purchases this week. It is JaysToysAndGames.com. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 15%. Got to thank JaysToysAndGames.com. You're going to see a lot of stuff in weekly purchases that I picked up at Jays this week as they got a big sale going on. They have a new location opening up in February. I will get early access to the new store, and we'll do a vlog from that store before it opens. That's going to be a pretty fun one, so stay tuned to that video on the channel. And a lot of videos to come on the channel. Hopefully you guys, and especially you gals out there, especially the gals. I know my wife enjoys all my videos, watches every single one. What? Todd McFarlane? Yeah, I know she doesn't watch any. She doesn't even watch the one she's in, but let's pretend. It's fun to pretend. But a lot of videos, of course, on the channel all the time. And this week, we finished it off. We did our top 10 best and worst action figure countdowns of 2024. Thousands of figures unboxed in 2024 between both my YouTube channels. We get down to the nitty-gritty of the worst and the best. Check out the worst one. Did I wear the worst outfit I've ever worn on the channel? Could be. That's what my wife says. So I said it's perfect to pair with the worst figures. And then, of course, full-on cowboy like a young Waylon Jennings in the best figures of 2024. So I hope you enjoyed both of those videos. And like I said, tons of videos to keep you busy on the channel. A lot more to come, a lot of fun stuff. I did film the Q&A videos. I did solicit for questions. Have two different 45-minute, hour-long videos. Probably go up in February on traditional YouTube. A little bit earlier for Patreon members. You guys know the drill on that one there. But I do have those in the can as well. But let's do a few more housekeeping things. Then we'll get to story time, baby. Or something like that. Something like that. Of course, Patreon. It is the month of January. This month's giveaway. It is Mr. Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy being given away right here on the channel. Of course, check out the Patreon for more details on that. Nobody wants to miss that. And then where's my other giveaway? What did I do with it? Oh, it's right over here. Okay, there you go. Sometimes I get lost in my own basement. Of course, just a basement dweller, as we do know. Check out yesterday's video for more on that. But there it is, Patreon, of course. Now we got to get to the real meat and potatoes here. We're getting down to the real meat and potatoes. I'm going to send a fabulous McFarlane giveaway to one winner of Guess the Clip Ties of 2024. What, Todd? Todd McFarlane on the couch. Yes, 95% of these are from your action figures in 2024. This is the real one you've been waiting for. You've been on the couch waiting for this moment. Hopefully you don't leave. But I did put all my clip ties in here, and I weighed this. Then I took them out, and I weighed just the case I have these in to find the true weight, and I did have that. And I asked you guys last week, I said I'll pick the winner in weekly purchases. You guys go to my Instagram. Make sure you're following me on Instagram. Follow the YouTube channels as well, and put your guess in, and I will pick a winner, and that's where we are here today. And I did see that. I was thinking we would have multiple winners, and I was like, okay, if multiple people guess the same ounces or grams, I said I would convert it. I said if anybody guesses the same one, I said I have enough McFarlane stuff. Todd, I got a lot of McFarlane stuff sitting around. I said I'll just pick two winners, and they'll both get a prize. But there was only one. There can only be one. I didn't know the Clip Ties game was going to be like Highlander, but here we are. There can only be one. And I did find a winner, and they did guess correctly right on the nose. It took maybe 4 or 5 days into the contest for that person to guess right, and then I just double-checked right before I filmed this. Nobody else guessed that amount, so the winner is Dens_toys on Instagram. You won. Congratulations. I will be sending you a fabulous McFarlane prize. Well, maybe not super fabulous, but a prize nonetheless. Nobody looks a free figure in the face. We know how that goes. But he did guess. Anybody want to take final guesses, feel free. But it is 5.6 ounces. He guessed 5.6. He did win. I should send you all these clip ties as packaging material. That's what I should do. But now the true question is, should this be a yearly contest? You guys in the comments tell me, and the gals too, and people get mad if I forget the gals. Put it in the comments down below. Do you want this to be a yearly contest? Do I dump these in the garbage? Do we start fresh? I've been saving so far in 2024. I got a thing full right now. We're off to a hot start. I said 2024. I meant 2025. We're off to a hot start right here. Do we do this contest? Is it something we should do every single year? Todd? Mark? They both say yes. I'm leaning towards yes. Maybe we do. You guys in the comments tell me if we should do this again. Or do we make it more challenging? Do I keep all these and I keep adding to this? And then next year, okay, people that are around a long time, you'll know this is 5.6. But then at the end of the year, what could it be? What could it be? Should we just keep continuing? Should this be like a rubber band ball? Should it be like Scrooge McDuck and his money? Should we keep these going and add these to it? Maybe that's what we should do. You guys, give me your thoughts in the comments down below. But congratulations to Den's Toys. You are the winner. I will be sending you a prize. I will reach out to you. Thank you, everybody that took part in this fun, whatever you want to call it, contest, giveaway, science experiment, whatever it is. I'm just like a young scientist. I'm a young Mr. Wizard right here at the table, something like that. But that's the Clip Ties winner right there. I did mention it yesterday. I'm going to mention it again right here because why wouldn't I? I do have a collection tour up on the channel, part 1, part 2. I had 2 more people this week reach out. When are you ever going to do a collection tour? Well, it's the first video on my channel now. And I know things move really fast, so I don't fault anybody for missing it. But once again, to remind the greater world, I do have 2 collection tour videos up on my YouTube. I know some people say, I watched your collection tour on Matt Cardona. Well, watch mine. Watch mine. But mine's a little slower, a little bit more in-depth, a little bit more explanation compared to Matt's. But it's a good bookend. Watch all 3. There you go. How about that? But check those out if you did miss it. And I want to do a special thank you to you and you and you and you way in the back there. I want to give you a special thanks. This week on the channel, we hit 47,000 subscribers. The march to 50,000 begins. We hit 47,000 on the YouTube channel. My second YouTube channel, that lowly little channel that could over there where Todd McFarlane wiggles his toes every single day on the couch. We're up to 6,000 subs over there. So appreciate all the support from everybody. Hopefully everybody's having a good time, having fun between the channels. But 47,000, we're marching towards 50,000. In March, we have the 5-year anniversary of this very YouTube channel, and I feel like we got to do something special. We got to do giveaways. We got to do all kinds of stuff. I'm already working on a special video for the 5-year anniversary. We're calling in friends near and far. We're going to yeet all over the place. Trust me. We got a lot going on for the 5-year anniversary, so much more to come, but it would be very cool personally to hit 50,000 for 5 years at the same time. It's going to be tough. Can we get 3,000 subscribers basically in 2 months? I don't know if that's a possibility or not, but if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe and tell a friend. Tell a friend, take their phone and just subscribe them, see what happens. But it'd be pretty cool to get that out of there. And like I said, we got some fabulous stuff in the work. I got so many surprises coming. I don't know if I should announce them all in March. We'll see what happens, but I got a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on every single day. And I think you guys will really like some of the stuff that maybe we'll announce in that video. So stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, all that kind of fun stuff. But I can't believe it has been 5 years. And we'll wax poetic about that when the time does come. So stay tuned to that in the future right there. But I covered everything here except, of course, this week. I had a very, very busy week at work this week. Had a huge trade show. We'll call it a trade show. How about that? Of course, this isn't my day job. This isn't my job, YouTube. This is a fun side project I do. I guarantee I probably work as many hours on this as people do at their day job. On top of about 60 hours at my regular job. So I'm working about 100 hours a week, but this feels nothing like work. But this week, worlds collided as I was at a big trade show here, selling my wares, doing my thing, speaking, shaking hands, kissing babies, selling some product, making money all day long. I was there all week, having a good time at that. But of course, Thursday this week, good friends of the channel, they're good friends now, Braun Breaker and Jey Uso were at this trade show. So they were at the Minute Maid table. They weren't at my table, unfortunately. And I'll never forget, before COVID, my company had signed on to be the sponsor of the WWE. I was all lined up to do meet and greets and all that stuff on behalf of the company, and it all went to dust with COVID. Now apparently Minute Maid, this Minute Maid, what do they do? What are they doing? Making maid in minutes? What does that even mean? I don't like it. I think it's offensive to maids everywhere. But either way, they were there, Braun Breaker and Jey Uso. And I said, you know what? I think I'm going to stroll over there and see what those boys are up to. Get a picture, get a video. I did do my toy hunt video. I did do some footage from that. I was out there on the show floor doing my thing. It was a wild and crazy time. And maybe one of these days, I know a lot of people are always interested, how would you do for a day job? And in the upcoming Q&A, as I mentioned, I talk a little bit about that. And maybe one of these days we'll talk some more stuff. We'll maybe do horror stories from work. I don't know. We'll do something. A lot of crazy stuff over my career for sure. But it was very fun to meet Jey Uso and Braun Breaker. Luckily, I was kind of at the beginning of the line. And I tell you what, they had a 2-hour window and the line was around the place. I mean, the crazy thing, if you saw in that video, wasn't quite the audience to be yeeting with, because I think everybody looked like, who are these people? I mean, I was, I wouldn't say I was the youngest person there anymore. I had that designation for many years, but I was middle of the road age-wise, and a lot of people older than me and even younger than me not watching wrestling, not hip to the Yeet game, and I'm not sure if I'm hip to the Yeet game either. But they did do a whole thing. I did film some of that, and you can kind of see the Yeet didn't go over so hot. Didn't go over so hot there. And it was funny to see Braun and Jey Uso being in like a corporate environment, trying to do promos and talk, and they were very clunky, to say it best. It's not like talking to the Monday Night Raw crowd, that's for sure. So it was very interesting to see them in a different light and do that. But shout out to those guys. They were very friendly. I was watching them a lot throughout the day. They were really working really good. So Minute Maid definitely got their money's worth out of them. So shout out to the Minute Maid Corporation. Coca-Cola, of course, is money, no. But it was quite the scene. But I was right up there up front. And it was a funny thing over the span of the day, as I'm pretty well known between the organizations I represent. I've been around them for 30 years. I started working for them when I was the day I turned 14, basically. So I've been around. So I'm a familiar face, known in many circles as Bread Jesus. Of course, that is my nickname in many circles. Can't wait for that Bendy, of course, that Major Bendy of Bread Jesus coming. But I know a lot of people. But as things go, as you're stuck more in the office environment, I'm not out in the stores and retail like I used to. I really miss that aspect of my career, but maybe one day I'll go back to something like that a little bit more. But there's a lot of faces and a lot of familiar faces over the years, and always appreciate those relationships, of course. But there's a lot of new people. There's new generations of these young whippersnappers, these kids coming into grocery stores and things like that. And it was so funny. And I had Jody and Gabby, of course. Jody, my secretary, planner, whatever you want to call her, but Jody, salt of the earth, keeps me in line every single day, loves to give me a hard time and cuss me out when I need to and bring me back to earth, so I always appreciate Jody. And then I had Gabby. Gabby just started working with me here, so I finally got a little bit of help out there on those mean streets. So Gabby, I'm teaching with her, working with her, so it's been a great time. Both salt of the earth ladies there, so they were there with me, but they thought it was crazy. They helped me film some of the stuff with Jey and Braun, but it was so funny, and they got a kick out of it too, that people came up, Kyle Peterson, what are you doing here? Are you with Braun and Jey or doing something like that? I had maybe 6 people hit me up over the day, not realizing I'm just not a YouTube guy. YouTube doesn't come close to paying the bills like I have every single day. I got a pretty big job, big shoes and whatever you want to say, and I do that every single day. And they thought I was there for that. I said, no, I work actually with your organization at a senior level. And they were blown away and shocked. Like, you have a real job. I can't believe you're a guy. Luckily, I wasn't in a suit this time. That would have really blown their minds. They saw me rolling up in a suit. But it was so funny to be recognized, not for my life in the grocery industry, but for my YouTube life. So I appreciate all those people. I think there were about 6 people. I took some pictures with some people. It was pretty cool. And then senior leaders of the organization, not my organization, others were like, this is Kyle, like goofy Kyle, long-haired Kyle, Bread Jesus Kyle. Why are people wanting pictures with him? What is going on? Like, having no idea of this alternate life I live. Like a young Batman is what it is. So that was really funny. Long way to get there. You know me, I'm long-winded. You got to be long-winded sometimes. But it was really cool to see all that. So a shout out to all those people. I got a lot of people, a lot of new faces and people when I do my Midwest traveling or wherever I'm going from all points that follow the channel. It'd be cool to shoot the breeze with in store in the future. So I will do that one of these days. Hopefully this year. We'll see what happens. But I did get in line with Braun Breaker, so I was kind of up front there with Braun and Jey. So luckily I got that out of the way really quick. So I was glad to get my picture and move on and lunch and the rest of my work day, of course. But it was really cool there. And I walked up, and it was wild to me, like for a second, and I don't know, maybe he did. Obviously, I didn't get to have a lot of time talking to them and stuff. But I did talk Jey Uso. So I put some of the video on there. Of course, Jody, shout out to you, but she ended the video. She should have kept going. You could see it in there. But we did get to talk a little bit there. there. But when I walked up, Jay goes, "Hey, what's up, Kyle, my man?" I said, "How the heck does he know me as Kyle?" And my name tag was switched around at the time. It was very weird. So I'm like, does he know the channel? Does he know what's going on? Or maybe I was in line, and it was the right way. It was one of those flippy name tags that go at these trade conventions. So maybe he saw it for a second before. I don't know. He was hiding behind those Yeet glasses. He might have magnifying glasses in there. I don't know what's going on. But I wasn't sure, and I was still unsure if he knew the channel. I'm guessing not. But you never know. But both those guys, extremely, extremely cool. Jay was there. It was funny. We stood there forever. And they knew I was a real one. They knew I was a real one because I had my Ultimate Warrior socks on. If I'm going to dress up, I'm going to do something fun. And I had my Ultimate Warrior socks on. So I showed them the socks. I think I showed it in the video as well. So they knew immediately, this guy's the real deal. This guy's the real. He's not just, saying he likes us and stuff like that. So Jay and I hit it off real good. And I said, and I turned it over to Braun. Of course, big Steiners guy. I'm a kid from the 90s, 80s. I love the Steiners. So I told Braun, I said, man, really love what you're doing, Braun. Love your whole family. And he goes, I love you, man. He looked at me and it was like, he gave me a look like, I just told this guy I don't even know that I love him, and we looked eye to eye, and it got a little awkward. It felt a little weird. If he would have went in for a hug, I probably would have took it, though. I would have took it, but it was very cool to see Braun. They were very chipper, very happy to be there, and it was cool at a day of hecticness, a week of hecticness around this trade show, getting everything ready to go. It was nice to have a good, 15 minutes of something you really enjoy and seeing those guys and seeing that, and of course at a private event. So very, very fun time this week at work. Very hectic, very stressful, very long week, but that was a pretty cool experience there. Out of all the celebrities, usually it's just like Mark Wahlberg walking around. And don't get me started. One of these days I'll do a video on Mark Wahlberg and why he is just evil, and how he gets all this respect and I don't get the respect. It's a long story. You think my Bon Jovi rants are bad? You think my Duke rants are bad? Don't you get me started on Mark Wahlberg. I got some business beef with Mark Wahlberg during the day jobs. He'll always win because he's Mark Wahlberg, but he shouldn't be winning. He shouldn't be, and I've proved my point time after time again. Mark Wahlberg, I'm coming for you. I'm not scared of you. You're like 5'4", 5'5". We'll call him 5'5". Maybe he's 5'6". I'm not scared of him. I'm 6'1". I'm like 6'3" in sneakers, so I'm not scared of you, Mark Wahlberg, and my business isn't scared of you either. So more on that another day, maybe. Maybe not. We'll see what happens. But that was a little Braun Breaker, Jey Uso story time. Very cool interaction. Shout out to those guys. And I could tell the WWE is grooming them for future appearances like that. I mean, you always have certain go-to guys. I think Cody's got the roll down pretty good, but I think they're trying to get some of them, probably maybe Rhea Ripley, depending, some of those, get them a little bit more seasoned, a little bit more professional in these environments, because it's all about the money at the end of the day. You got to follow the money. Jesse Ventura told us that so many times. Follow the money. That's what it's about. So be very interesting where this all goes in the future. And who knows, maybe next year or later this year, we'll see some more superstars along the way. So there it is. That is the weekly purchases housekeeping aspect of the show. Now we got to bring my wife in here. She's ready to go. She just wants to get down to the question of the week. All right, time to get down to the question of the week. And as usual, my wife, Angie, is here. Angie, say hello.
Every time you say that, I think you're going to say, time to get down to business.
The business. Question business.
That's what he says to me.
Question business. It's time for business. It's time to get down to the important questions here today. Before I take you out to a fabulous dinner of your choice between McDonald's, Wendy's, and Burger King. Your choice, whatever you want, but you're only getting a water. You're only getting a water. We got to save some money here on this house. But Angie is here for the question of the week. Angie, how was your week? Was it better than my week?
It was a long week, wasn't it? It
was a very long week.
We had a lot of bread business to go do this week.
There was a lot of business, and it's funny that we talk a little bit about bread of all things, in this question of the week. So
did I lead you into your week?
You led us right into the question of the week here. So it was a very busy week. My head is spinning. I had a lot going on this week, and I don't even know what day it is. I'm totally lost. I don't know if it's the 15th or the 1st, or maybe it's the 31st of January for all I know. The mortgage is probably due tomorrow for all I know. We better get that paid. But a lot going on this week, But we're here. We made it through another week, and I'm just going to relax all weekend filming a million videos. That's my plan, and I'm going to be held to it. We'll see. But Angie, are you ready for the question of the week?
I don't think you got to your point, did you? You said, speaking of bread, and then did you get to your point?
Speaking of bread, the question of the week. How about that?
I thought you were going to talk about something else.
I'm a beautiful segue. Angie, take it from here.
God, this is a long one. Mock Turtle 4911. In your Mondo Spider-Man review, you said companies lose customers by the loaf and win them back by the slice. Is there a company that lost you almost entirely and clawed its way back?
And that's one of the greatest things I've ever said. It's just a great thing. You lose them, of course, a loaf at a time. You get them back a slice at a time. You could take that to action figures. You could take that to actual bread. You could take that to anything in life. Whenever you're doing with consumer goods, you're always dealing with the customer. It takes a long time to win back trust, and some things take a lot longer than others. That's the way it goes. And this is a very good question from MOC Turtle, because I say this all the time. I'm a broken record half the time. But there are some collections that have done this to me before. Star Wars is one that comes first out of mind. And I guess a lot of stuff has happened over your collecting journey. But as of recently, Star Wars All In, Star Wars dwindling out, Star Wars Mandalorian back in, Star Wars basically outside of a few things here and there. And you've seen that over the last year on the channel. Angie, I haven't, before bed, when I lay my head down on the pillow right next to you, you sometimes will say, honey, what are you dreaming about tonight? And I haven't said Star Wars in a long time, have I? You haven't heard it. You haven't heard it. So have you heard me snore? Probably more than Star Wars is probably what she's heard. But Star Wars out for me. They lost me. I don't think they can get me back. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
They haven't clawed their way back.
They haven't, and I don't know if they can. So, but I'm getting there. So now another one. Kind of, I'm working my way, transitioning. Always long-worded. You know, Angie will say, "Hey, did you take the garbage out?" And it'll be a 20-minute story before I get to. Well, funny thing. Glad you asked. You know the neighbor down the street? I saw him, and he had his dog. And it just turns into that. That's the way I am. I'm very wordy. Very wordy. But the next one, as we work our way through, Angie, I hope you packed a lunch. We're going to be here a while. Let's talk about
my hair.
Let's talk about Transformers. That's one. They've lost me. They brought me back. Lost me. Brought me back. I've totally been lost at this point. I got my Dinobots. I'm good to go. But then they showed Devastator. I might be back for Devastator. We'll see what happens. But one fairly recently here was Jada Toys Street Fighter brand. Beautiful, beautiful figures. I was collecting. I was hot and heavy. They've only had like 6 releases. Only like 6 or 7, 8, something like that.
They lost you quick.
So yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm here. I'm getting this one. And then I said, do I really? I like Street Fighter. If anybody my age, we enjoyed a little street fight. Did you ever street fight?
Not really.
Yeah, I have. On the games and out in the streets. I've done both street fighting over my career. It's been a long one. You got to throw those dukes up, and I miss those days. Simpler times when you wouldn't get arrested for that kind of stuff. Nothing. There's a lot of people I want to punch in the nose every single day. There's probably people watching this that I deal with every single day that I would love to punch you right in the face, and you know who I'm talking about. But the Jada Toy Street Fighters, I got rid of them, or I kept them, and I said, you know what, I don't think I can be in here. They're doing all the variant versions, all that kind of stuff. You know exactly what I'm talking about here, I know. And then I said, you know what, Kyle, you're going to do something you usually don't do. You don't have to be a completist. You don't have to get them all. It's not Pokemon on all these lines. And I said, you know what, they clawed back. I'm going to get all the single characters. I don't need the repaints. I don't need some of those deep, deep cuts. I'm going to go on that. So I did claw back. I quit, and then I saw some stuff, and I said, you know what, I'm clawing back into this. That's what I'm doing. And very similar, Mortal Kombat as well, Storm Collectibles. I was totally out, but then that big old Goro and Shiva brought me back, so... What are you doing?
They're going to be in our bedroom.
They will be in our bedroom, right between
No
us.
room.
Right between us.
Just in bed.
No, they got their own shelves over there in that room. You know where they go.
Oh my God.
So that's it. That's the answer to this week's question of the week. And of course, if you want to be the question of the week, send it in the comments of this very video. And I did film a gigantic Q&A. 2 almost hour-long Q&A videos from all your questions. Should be up on Patreon very soon. Maybe February for all of YouTube. So stay tuned for some riveting Q&A coming your way soon. And that's it for the question of the week. And once again, put it in the comments. Angie, anything else out of you? Any hopes, dreams, goals this weekend for you? What would you like to see?
I'm so tired.
She's so tired, so she wants a nap. That's her goal. And guess what? I'll leave you alone the rest of the night. After I get you Wendy's, Burger King, or McDonald's, your choice. We can go to all 3 and you can make the ultimate meal. How about that question? That's my question of the week for Angie. If we go to Wendy's, Burger King, and McDonald's, what is your ultimate meal? What would you do? What would you pick? Something from each one. Go.
I can't.
She can't. Come on. It's no fun. Well, I'll have to do it on a flash here. I'm going to say I haven't eaten for a long time, but I'm going to get the McRib for sure over at McDonald's.
Ew.
I'm going to get the spicy chicken sandwich over there at Wendy's.
Go on. You're supposed to do like a...
I know. That's what I'm saying.
side.
I'm really hungry. So that's what I'm saying. Okay, but if I have to choose one, I was going to go really hungry edition, but I'll make it even harder. I'll make it. So I'm going to go McRibs because it's seasonal, but Yeah, McRib. I'm going McRib. And then I'm going to go... Oh, this is hard, a lot harder because I don't like any of their fries. All three. I don't like any of their fries.
The best fries.
Wendy's screwed the pooch back in the day with the fries. They messed them all up. They went to a different thing. They even messed up the chicken sandwich a little bit.
I like the natural cut.
They're horrible. I don't know. And their buns are so bad. I don't even want. Don't get me started. Don't get me started on the bread. Don't do it.
You should not be eating McDonald's fries.
Yeah,
I instantly get a headache if I eat them.
I never liked them. I always remember my grandma as a kid. She said, "Kyle, the best fries are Long John Silver's." Now I heard Long John Silver's went to waffle fries. Oh my gosh, my grandma, my poor grandma.
Corn on the
cob. Corn on the cob ruined Elle's life. All right, so I'm going to make this fast. I'll go Wendy's French fries under protest. I'll go McDonald's McRib, and then what do I get for Burger King? I guess I get the onion rings. I'm going crazy. I'm just going to get... I'm getting onion rings, or I guess I get the drink from Burger King. I don't know. Terrible question. Terrible for you. Terrible question. There it is. I did, just now.
It's actually a trend that people do where they go to like...
We'll do that on Angie's TikTok channel. More to come. So there it is. Question of the week, Angie. Thank you for being here. Say goodbye to everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
All right, time to get down to the weekly purchases, and I should say a little follow-up from last week. I forget who it was in the comments, but shout out to you. You're a real one. You mentioned, Kyle, I thought for sure with the build-up, you would have announced a snowblower this week as a weekly purchases, and guess what? I still have not bought this snowblower. I just barely got lucky in the first snowfall of the year, as it was about 2 inches. I went out and shoveled 3 times to keep up on it. My back was safe another day, so I didn't do that, and then all of a sudden, watch out, Snowmageddon came, and of course Kansas City and all that, they got like 20 inches of snow, 2 feet of snow, whatever it was, a ridiculous amount of snow. Thankfully, totally missed my area, so I'm still just surviving without a snowblower. But my plan was to get a snowblower this week. However, the throttle body sensor in my wife's Jeep went out. Now, she got this fixed, we got this fixed right before Christmas, and then we didn't drive her Commander at all because she doesn't drive her car a whole lot because she doesn't really need to. So she didn't drive it, and then she went on her vacation, as we talked about last week. She went to Arkansas, so there was no need to be driving her car. Well, she gets back in town, starts driving her car. This throttle body sensor goes crazy. You can only go 20 miles per hour. You turn your car on, it's going 20, whether you're on the gas or not, and then it's jumping. It's doing like one of these things hopping like I'm a lowrider or something. So anyways, took it back to the shop, said, what are you guys doing? You're supposed to fix this thing. Long story short, they found out you had to get the original part. You couldn't get a generic part for it on back order until the end of the month. So we're without our Jeep Commander. I'm not taking my Wagoneer or my Wrangler out in the winter. I'm just not going to do it. That road salt will eat those things alive. Can't do that. So long story short, without the Commander to put the snowblower in when I purchase it, I can't get a snowblower, but I guess I could get it delivered. You could do that kind of stuff. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to pay that extra money. You got to get a deal out there. So still no snowblower. I'll keep you guys. I know you guys are riveted to it. I'll get it one of these days. But let's get down to the weekly purchases. 2 rounds this week, and something very, very nostalgic for me with a tear in my eye like a young Ric Flair. I will never forget owning this t-shirt. Yes, t-shirt. We're going to a t-shirt. We're going to a classic vintage t-shirt right here. I don't even know if I'll ever wear this. Maybe I'll frame it and put it in my office. I don't know what I'm going to do. We're going all the way back in the day for the Ultimate Warrior t-shirt. This was the first Ultimate Warrior shirt I ever had as a kid. I did find one in extra large. Got to give a shout out to David C. Anderson. He found this and said, hey, you might want to buy this. There's a sale going on. So I did pick it up. But I had this exact shirt when I was in, I think it was 4th grade, 3rd or 4th grade, 4th grade, I think. And I love this shirt. This is my first ever Ultimate Warrior memorabilia. I was all in on this, loved this shirt, wore it till it fell apart, basically. And I'll never forget wanting to wear this for my school pictures. And my parents said I could not wear this to my school pictures, but they went to work and I had to go to school by myself. You know what Kyle did. He put this bad boy on for his school pictures is what he did. Maybe I'll be lucky and I can find that picture and we can post it up here. You can see a little bit of it peeking out. But man, oh man, this is a very, very nostalgic shirt. Absolutely love this one. Like I said, I'm not sure I really want to wear it, but man, oh man, I opened this up and it transported me back to a simpler time, if there ever was one. So shout out to the Ultimate Warrior. Shout out to t-shirts everywhere. And speaking of t-shirts, got to give a special shout out to, of course, the old Jewel Market there. Yes, the Jewel Market. You know what I'm talking about. Of course, they did send me some shirts this week. They said, hey, love the channel, want to send you some shirts right here. Hotter than Fort Dodge. And if you know Fort Dodge, home of Crazy Legs, of course, you don't want to miss this. But you can pick this up over at the old Jewel Market right there. Looking very good. And Fort Dodge, as we all know, extremely hot over there. Extremely hot. Get yourself the Taco Tico, maybe the Community Tap Pizza. I don't know, the Top Hat Lounge, maybe. Yeah, all the Fort Dodge greats over there. Who knows? Who knows? We're not done right there. This is an interesting one. Wiener Winks Make Me Happy. Now, I'm not familiar with this one. I had to have some explanation around here. Apparently, it was a school lunch menu at one time. So, very interesting, but very Hulkamania-like colors on this one here. And I should mention Hulkamania going to run wild next week. Probably be super controversial. It's because Hulk Hogan's all controversy. But we're going to finally count down all the Hulkster figures of 2024. We're going to put them in order. We'll have that video next week. We'll talk a little Hulkster in that one there. But I got those two shirts. Thank you to my buddy Garen out there sending those my way. You know me, I love a t-shirt. I'll wear any t-shirt any day. There you go. How about bringing it back to Braun Breaker and Jey Uso? As I was getting out of the little meet and greet there, they gave me a little Braun Breaker, little lanyard right here, a lanyard deal thing here. And they got Jey Uso. Got him autographed there. And then, of course, we brought the juice. Yeah, you got to bring the juice. I'm always bringing the juice. Like a young Juventud Guerrero, I'm bringing the juice. Looking very good, but I got those autographs. Not sure what I'm going to do with those. I'm not a big autograph guy, but I'm sure somebody's going to send them to me. Well, maybe I'll give away. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. But got those. But we're not done. Let's keep the wrestling train rolling here. Train kept rolling all night long, as we know, and it rolled on to 6. Now, I ended up getting 3 of these this week, and one, of course, for David C. Anderson, one from a Walmart order, and then one from good friend of the channel, Jeremy Lester, found this out on the Toy Hunt. So, 6 Chase is finally squashed. Finally got the 6 Chase after so much time. But wait, there's more. Local collector Kevin found this on his hunt. He found me a DDP plain Jane, yeah, kind of, plain jeans, plain blue jeans going on with this one. So I finally got these 2 missing pieces of the Monday Night War puzzle in my collection. Oh yeah, and there's 6 again, so there's that second 6. So got those going on. Hallelujah, got that over with. Moving on to the next one. And then, of course, I already unboxed it on the channel this week. Check it out, find all kinds of stuff. It's a wild and crazy video with a lot of business hat talk, so if you like the business hat, it's in there. And I did at the end, I said, somebody's going to say the actual review starts at 10 minutes, and I said in that video, it starts 1 second in. That's when your education starts. But we did get the Samoan Dynasty this week. I did buy 2. What am I doing? I bought 2 of them. I'm just a sucker. A fool in his money. You know what Badfinger said many years ago, or I guess Paul McCartney wrote it for him. So there you go. You know the drill right there. Entertainment Earth coming in extra hot this week. Turtles of Grayskull. Oh, Raphael, case fresh Raphael, unpunched even right there. Mechanic breaking necks, got Mechanic through the door. How about that? How about this one, the best one, Ratlore. Look at that. How cool is that looking right there? Watch out, Clamp Champ. And watch out for Donatello. He's coming in extra hot as well via Entertainment Earth. Got those through the door this week. And how about the Green Lantern, Simon Baez? I always forget how it is. Is he related to Joan Baez? I'm guessing no. We got him through the door. We got the Platinum a few weeks back, months back. Finally got the regular edition. How about that? And that sums up round number 1. Now we got to move over to round number 2. All right, we finish off weekly purchases with round number 2. And round number 2 is going to begin with something I totally forgot I ordered. I'm so behind on these pre-orders on some of this stuff. And it is, what is it? Foray Toys, Rave Toys, Rage Toys, Rave Toys, it looks like this time. I did get the Michelangelo, I guess Samurai Force is what they're calling this one. Now we've unboxed, what was it, Leonardo and Donatello. I think that leaves Raphael. I don't know if they put him up or if I pre-ordered him. I got to figure it out because I can't have 3 of the 4 turtles. But I did get this through the door this week after like a year wait time. I don't know what it's been. Probably not that long. But I did get that to add to the turtle collection. So stay tuned to that unboxing. Now we're going to go to jaystoysandgames.com. Of course, they have 3 stores local to me called Jay's CD and Hobby. They did announce the closure of one of their stores as they're building, moving into, whatever you want to call it, a brand new location in February. Look for a video on the channel where I'm going to take a tour of the new store before it opens. Can't wait to see what's going on inside there. But they did use that store that was closing. They said, guess what? We're going to do a fire sale, 50% off everything in the store. Deals upon deals, deals for days, and they're restocking it throughout the month, cleaning out some stuff from the warehouse. So got to get a deal. You know how that goes. Took the wife, took the kids there. We went. My kids bought some Jurassic Park pops. Oh, shout out to Jurassic Park. But I got a few things as well that I needed for my collection. I guess first off, if you've ever seen my collection tour, or maybe collection part 2, I talked about these cases, these card holder cases. I bought these because 50% off, dirt cheap. These are great. You separate them. You can use these for risers in your cases or your shelves. Very cheap at a discount. You can use those. So they had 4 left. I said, you know what? I'm buying all 4 of these. That's exactly what I did. So I got those there. Then, of course, I needed one of these, and I've never pulled the trigger until now. I broke the head off my last one. I dropped it, and the head snapped off. Oh, don't get me started. But I did pick up one of these, and it was like $22 after the sale. So got to get a deal once again. Picked up the old Triceraton. And then probably the greatest deal of my life. Yes, the greatest deal of my life. I might unbox this on the channel. Maybe I won't. But it would be great to compare this to the Hot Toys version, I think is what it would be. An all-timer of a video. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we won't. It is Lando Calrissian, old Cape Season himself, collector's edition from way back in the day from Kenner. Look at this. I saw this. I said, I need this in my collection. I need this. But it didn't have a price tag on it. So I was like, hey, this doesn't have a price tag. What is this? And I assumed this would be like $400 after the 50% off is what I've... It's Lando. It's Cape Season Soft Cape. Lando. Billy D. Williams. $400. I thought that was a good deal. And when he said $300, I couldn't say sold fast enough. Or he might have said, $5. Does that sound good? I said, yeah, I guess I'll take $500. Little did he know I was preparing to pay $300. But $5 for Lando, you got to take that deal all day long. Lando's a betting man. I'm a betting man. He wears a cape. I wish I could wear a cape. The Odd Couple, if there ever was one, had to pick this one up. 50% off, and I guess it was $10. I don't know, maybe it wasn't, but I got the deal of the day on old Lando. Do we unbox it? Once again, vote in the comments below. But now let's do some Lucy. How about that? They have a big loose section. I said, I see a few things I do want, and I did pick up Chris Jericho. Now, they had the Luminaries one. It ended up being $3.49 for the Luminaries Jericho, but I had that other Chris Jericho that was recently released. By putting them together, you can make another classic Jericho. I said, that's exactly what I'm going to do. For about $8, I got this Jericho made for me, all in between the 2 figures. So got that going on. I needed a Ted DiBiase basic. I'm going to put the $1 Million Man suit from the Superstars line, the green one. I'm going to stick that one on this one. So I figured for that, once again, this was like $3.99, I think is what it was. So I picked up old Ted, the old $1 Million Man. For $2, I couldn't refuse this one. It is John Cena from that Hollywood line. This is just a great plain Jane figure for customizers. You can pop this head off, and you can turn this really into anybody you want to. And I said, for that price, someday, some way, I'll need it. I'll have an extra head. I'll have something. I'll have a use for this. So $2, I figured I'd pick up that Cena. And last but certainly not least, one of the rarest bone crunchers. Maybe not the most sought after, but it is Paul Bearer. It is from that box set back in the Jakks days. It is the blonde-haired Paul Bearer. Now, I have this box set mint on card in my collection, but I always wanted to get a loose one. I have the other ones already. Finally found this guy for something like $7. So, got to get a deal. I mean, it was only like $16 normally, $18, something like that. Got to get a deal. Finally pulled the trigger on that bad boy there. So I did get those. But I wasn't done with WWE stuff. For $20, I figured, you know what? I'll pick up this battle pack. Vince McMahon versus CM Punk. Oh, what a battle pack right there. But for $20, felt like a deal to me. I do have this Vince in my collection. I didn't have the Punk. We'll see what I end up doing with that one there. But that Vince is really good. Another great one for customs as well. Especially that head, using it for things. Heck, you can pull the head off there, throw it on here. Bam, you got a Vince McMahon custom if you want to. And last but not least, the longest of long games. I always wanted to pick this one up. Never wanted to pay full price. But for something like $15, I said, I'll pull the trigger. It is Turtles in Time. Baxter Stockman. Feels a little different. Looks a little different. Worth a pickup for me at a good $15. And that is it. That's the weekly purchases this week. Not the biggest week we've ever had, but a fun week with a lot of stuff going on. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments down below what your question of the week is next week for my wife and me. But also, what did you pick up this week? You grab anything good? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell. We're on our way to 50,000 subscribers. We'd love to have you here for it. Make sure you do subscribe and tell a friend, as I did say. Subscribe to the other channel while you're at it. Check out the Patreon for all kinds of stuff. Early access to all the videos, bonus content, you name it. Enough to make your head spin, as we always say. ProWrestlingTees.com, search Kyle Peterson. Don't forget Sir Paul64 over there on the X, the _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, and now on TikTok. So for another week of weekly purchases, you know what I'm doing. Rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling, my way into another work week. Yeet!
We're going to